Hello friends. Today I am going to deal about one interesting question that you have seen people migrating to urban areas even when there is a lot of unemployment already in the urban area. Then why do people actually migrate? Because when they are migrating without a surety that they will get a job in urban area, then are they acting irrationally? Let's try to answer this question. One question that answers this is Harris-Todaro migration model. Uh, the reference for this will be textbook by this Michael P. Todaro and Stephen C. Smith, Economic Development. The diagram that you are seeing here, that is also from the same book. So let's start with this. So first question comes that suppose that someone is earning say 50 rupees per day in rural area in agriculture, okay, and in urban area he can earn 100 rupees per day. So that person migrate. uh, if we say that in urban area he will get a job for sure, then definitely he should migrate, okay. But if he won't get a job at all, then he will not migrate. But if there is some probability of getting a job, then possibly he will think about the expected income rather than the actual income that he is earning here and in the urban sector. Suppose that the probability that he will get a job in urban sector is say zero point 0.5, then what is the expected income that he can earn is 100 multiplied by zero point 0.5, and this comes to 50 rupees per day. This is the expected income. So notice the difference. This is the actual income and this is the expected income. Now the person will be indifferent between migrating and not migrating. Okay. So let's come back to the model. So here, first basic assumption is this: individuals look at the expected income rather than the actual income while making migration decisions. So now look at this diagram. So what is happening here? In this diagram, you see we have actually compressed two different axes into one. So this was actually one of the axes where I am showing this OA. This is the labor force that is implied in the agriculture sector. This will be the demand curve. You know that MPL curve is also the demand curve. So this is for agriculture sector, and then we have this is again, this is OM, and this is another demand curve. This is for manufacturing sector. What we have done, we have taken this and turned it this way. So what happened, I end up joining these two like this. Let me join this is joined like this here. So this LM curve actually now comes like this, and this OA is now here, OM is here. So this way if you move, you are showing the labor force in agriculture. If you are moving this way, you are showing labor force in the manufacturing. That's what has happened here. So let's remove this thing now. Why are you staying here, Bosco? Okay. Now, now what is happening? So let's see. This is the this A is the agricultural labor demand schedule. So you can see that at different wage rates that is shown on here, you will demand different amount of agricultural workers. This is schedule for the manufacturing, okay, and this MM dash, and this shows that at what wage rate in manufacturing sector how many labors will be demanded there, okay. So if we have our neoclassical kind of model, so let's first talk about the neoclassical situation. So neoclassical competitive equilibrium. So what will happen here? We realize that uh, these OA, LA star, these many workers will be demanded in the agricultural sector at the wage rate W star A, while this L star M O M, these many workers will be demanded in the manufacturing sector with the wage rate W star M. Okay, and the equilibrium will happen at the point E, where the wage rates W star A, W star M will be same. Okay, so equilibrium at point E, wage rate W star A will be W star M. W star A is the agricultural wage and this is the manufacturing wage. Okay, so there is no unemployment. Why? I will just show you. Since OA L star A is in agriculture and OM L star M is in manufacturing, and that total is actually OA OM, that is the total labor force. This is in agriculture and this is in manufacturing. So let's write here agriculture, manufacturing. So there is no unemployment. Fine. But then this neoclassical kind of model is not applicable to developing countries because we have chronic unemployment situation here. So what will happen? Again, there is another possibility. Uh, we have the institutionally fixed urban wage that is fixed here. So what is the meaning of this? Urban wage is institutionally fixed at W bar M that is greater than W star M. Okay, then what will happen in this situation? We realize that the urban wage is higher, so everybody would want to come to the urban sector. But then the problem is this, that urban sector can accommodate at this particular wage W star M only these many people, right? LM amount of people. What will happen to the remaining OALM? If again there is no unemployment, then they will end up here at this wage rate W double star A. Why? Let's reason it out. If we want to hire more agriculture worker given a demand schedule, we have to decrease the wage rate. So it's like a movement from E to this way unless we finish up the entire labor force. And this will end up here when the entire workforce is done either in manufacturing or in agriculture, and the wage rate will actually fall from W star A to W double star A. So again there will be no unemployment. Okay, no unemployment is possible at W double star, sorry, it should be A, which is less than W double star A, W star A. So what will happen now? OM, LM are in manufacturing and OA, LM are in agriculture. But then again, this model is more into neoclassical tradition. Why? Because we are assuming that we can keep on hiring people here, right? Question comes that the people, individuals who are working at this wage rate here, right? W star, W double star A, they will see that there is an immense gap of this much between them and the manufacturing modern sector wage rate. The difference is gap is W star M minus W double star A. So this is a huge gap, right? Now this will motivate people to migrate towards urban sector even though they know that they may not end up getting job immediately. So how they will decide actually whether they should migrate or not? So they will think what is the probability that I will get a job in the urban sector? And that probability is given by one equation that is actually very simple to explain. So this is Lm by L US. Now what is Lm and LUS? Lm is the employment in the modern manufacturing sector. LUS is the total workforce if we consider that all those who want to migrate are migrating. So this will be the total labor force. This discussion will come back again and then you will understand it better. This is the probability of getting a job in the urban sector. This should be multiplied by the urban wage. If my rural wage equates this, then people will be indifferent between migrating and not migrating. If my rural wage is less than this, then people will be migrating. Okay, so this is exactly what I showed here when I said that they are getting 50 rupees per day in rural sector while 100 rupees per day in urban sector, and if the probability of getting a job in urban sector is 0.5, then they will be indifferent, while if the probability is 0.6, then the expected income will be 60 rupees and then they will be migrating, right? So that is what we are talking about. So now let's see what happens in the model. uh, if people are migrating, then what will happen? Let me just adjust this. Come on. So now, what will happen to people who want to migrate and how we decide that where the migration will stop? So for this, we have actually used a clever trick. This equation WA is equal to LM by LUS into W bar M. This gives me the indifference between migrating to urban sector and remaining in the rural sector. This can be represented by this line QQ. Okay, so this is represented by this line QQ. Okay, so people are indifferent between migrating and remaining in the rural sector. So you realize that this is intersecting this agricultural demand schedule at Z, and we realize that these many people, they are actually people who are here OA to LA, they are content with their agricultural job because they are looking at the probability of getting in job in urban sector, and they feel that they are better with a sure income in the rural sector rather than an expected lower income in the urban sector. While those who are here, they will be thinking about the migration part. So now what will happen to these people who are between LA and LM? So they can end up either being people between LA, LM. Okay, so they can end up in two ways. Either they are unemployed altogether, okay, or they end up in informal sector job. Informal sector, and when I am saying informal sector, it means urban informal sector. Okay, so this equation is actually representing equilibrium for this situation when they are unemployed. So either they are getting some income if they are getting employed, this expected income, or they are getting zero income if they are unemployed. If we want to accommodate this second option also, urban informal sector, then I have to tweak my equation like this. WA is equal to, this part will be same, LM upon LUS into W bar M, plus I am adding the second part where if they are ending up in the urban informal sector, what will be the income? So what is the probability of ending up in the urban informal sector? LUS is the total labor force. This LUS is the total labor force in the urban sector. LMOM is urban manufacturing sector. So remaining LM is the urban informal sector. So when I am writing like this is actually telling me what is the probability that I will end up in the informal sector. And let's say that the wage rate in the informal sector is WI. So this will be the complete equation for this second kind of model where we are actually bringing in urban informal sector. And I should actually write here that what this is urban informal sector wage. So this is interesting, right? Now this tells you that if people are thinking that they can earn this expected income, then they will be migrating. If they believe that they cannot earn this income, then they will be not migrating. So now let's look at the implications of this model. So implications are actually very interesting. So let's look here. Uh, One thing is this, that even if there is huge unemployment in the urban sector, people can migrate. Okay, so implications. First implication is the first implication is that migration is possible even if we have urban unemployment problem. Sorry, sometimes my handwriting becomes like it's not in cursive also, it becomes some kind of hieroglyphic something. So just understand with me. So this is possible. Second thing is that whenever we have rural urban wage differential and people are migrating, there will be one urban informal sector that will be coming up. Urban informal sector is almost inevitable. Okay. Now there can be some very interesting extensions of this model, and what these extensions are. So see, we often observe that people from one particular area, they generally move to another particular location in urban area. I have seen in Mumbai, I was in Goregaon when I was doing my postdoc at ICDR. There was another settlement beside IHADR, that was Santosh Nagar. And in Santosh Nagar, you will find most of the migrants are from UP and Bihar and some particular districts of these places. So why this is happening? Reason is this: when people are migrating and they are getting job, they also gather information about the employment possibilities in the new area, and once another person comes from their place, they actually reduce the new person's search cost by providing these information, and this is actually very invaluable. So that's why the new migrants, they go straight to the people who are already settled there and take information from them, that where the jobs are available, what skills are needed, and so on. So this is one extension. Another extension is that who will be more willing to migrate? People who have slightly higher human skills, they have better human skills, human capital. They would tend to migrate quickly, other than people who are actually non-skilled. And this you can actually extend to international migrations also. Once you realize that your coding skill is now par excellence, then you would think of getting a job in Google or Facebook or somewhere else, rather than wasting your time in some low paying job here. Then that can be one reason for international migration. So this was my take on this Harris-Todaro model. Let me know if you like it and what next you want to see it. How can I improve it further apart from my handwriting?